If you're anything like me, then seeing an item hanger as disorganized and messy like this is genuinely painful. Like, this gets into my head and I absolutely hate it. There's just stuff all over the place. How do I find anything that I'm looking for? Well, okay, I guess there is the search, but still, it's just awful. Fortunately, EVE Online has an excellent system to handle this known as station containers. So that's what I'm going to be showcasing in today's rather short little quick-fire video. Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie, and hopefully this will help you organise all of the stuff you have lying around your stations. We're going to talk about station containers, how to use them, how to set them up, and how to get them, because that last bit is actually surprisingly complex, which is why we're going to go over that bit first. So, how do you get a station container? Well, the most obvious way if you're an industrialist is to go and grab the blueprint, make a few yourself, and then just build them wherever you need them. And that's a nice easy way, but if you're not an industrialist, then of course you can come to the market. If you open up the market window and then type in container, hit enter, at the bottom we have station container, station vault container, and station warehouse container. Ultimately, these are just different sizes of the same thing, and the standard station container, if I'm being completely honest, I have never managed to fill up. You might decide you want to go for vaults or warehouses, but for today, we're going to talk about the standard station container. These are just boxes that you put into your item hanger to help segregate stuff out. You can also actually password protect them as well for various different reasons I won't get into for the purposes of this video. The problem is, before you just rush out and buy one of these, like I can say, oh, there's some in system here for 60,000 discs, that's not too bad in price, I could buy a few of those. Yeah, but they're not in the station I want them to be in, and each of these has a volume of 10,000 cubic meters. That is a big item. If I were using the Lucid Echo here, she's only got a 200 cubic meter cargo hold. I cannot move a station container. Even if I took all this stuff out, 200 cubic meters compared to the 10,000 that one of these alone takes up. And that means before you buy one of these, you either need to make sure you have a ship that can carry it, or you have a friend with a ship who can carry it. Or of course you can set up a hauling contract, another topic for another time. Now, what kind of ship might do that for you? Well, if we open up the ship tree, if you've done your career agent missions, you should have your basic hauler. For the Minmatar, for example, that is the Wreath. For Caldari, I believe it's the Badger, so on and so forth. You'll get a couple of hauling ships as part of it. Now, if I open up the Wreath, you'll notice that it only has a basic capacity of 2,900 cubic meters. That is still not enough for one container. Now, of course, that's before we've trained the Minmatar Hauler bonuses here. I don't actually have Minmatar Hauler at all, so I can't even use one. But if I had Minmatar Hauler at 5, that 25% increase is still not enough. You're going to also need to fit that Wreath with things like cargo hold expanders, or the rigs that allow you to optimize your cargo hold optimizers, that kind of thing to expand your cargo hold so it at least hits 10,000 cubic meters. At least 10,000 cubic meters. Obviously, if you can get up to 20 or 30, then you can carry more of those containers at a time. And that's why recently on my industrial alt, I bought a Mammoth, because a Mammoth starts at 5,500 cubic meters. That industrial alt has decent skills with the Minmatar Hauler, plus I could fit things like cargo hold expanders 2s, and a load of the better rigs as well. And I actually got it up to 37,000 cubic meters. Allows me to fit a whopping 3 cargo containers in, so the 8 that I wanted still took me a few repeat journeys. Bear this in mind before you buy cargo containers, and you should be absolutely fine. But once you have those cargo containers, what do you do with them? Well, really easy. You find them in your hold here. Here we are, station container. I'm going to right click this and hit assemble container. You'll notice this also adds it to the left hand side here. I now have a station container, and if I right click it, I can set its name. Now for me, I have a naming convention which fortunately comes up when I type it. 01 to 05 with what that container, well, contains. So ammunition and charges is my first one, and now I have an ammunition and charges container over here. I can immediately go over all of my ammunition and charges, and with a nice little shift click, boom, there we go. I can now drag all of those into my ammunition and charges. If I go in here, you'll see There's everything neatly organized. I will often drop drones in here as well. You might decide to follow this convention, you might decide to add your own. If you've got enough ISK for it and you're happy to buy multiple containers, heck, you could literally put down here something like, I'm going to have, the ammunition one that is just going to be missiles, I'm going to have one just for charges, I'm going to have one that is for ammo, I'm going to have one for probes. You can divide this as much as you like. But I have a system that I use. So I'm going to assemble another one of these, assemble container, and it does appear here as well, or you can go across to the side here, but because it's a new item, it should appear right at the bottom. We can go again, set name, 02 for me is filaments and boosters. This is where I put all of my tranquil to whatever filaments for abyssal dead spaces. So I can click onto one of these again and click at the top, and drag all of those into number 2. Will take a second. Sometimes you get a bit of a black screen like this. You have to scroll down past it all. Things like my boosters and that would go in here as well, and I can add whatever the heck I fancy. So actually there's some needlejack stuff and some filaments there. I am kind of rushing this a little bit just for the purposes of the video, but you should get the point of this by now. Ultimately, we then come to container number 3 for me. I am going to show you all of the ones that I use, just because that might give you an idea of how you want to divide your station containers. Number 3 for me, you will see, is modules and fittings. So that will come through, and again, this is everything here from small armor repairers through to your cargo scanners, analyzers, fibers, different weaponry, even rigs, everything like that. If it fits to a ship, it goes in this box for me. And again, you might decide you want to change that to high slot, mid slot, low slot, and rigs and have 4 separate boxes. For me, I don't need that many boxes, you know? You can also just, if you come out of one of these into there and come back, it will have got rid of that horrible hole and put everything a little bit closer together. Finally, we go to the last one here, assemble container, rename container, set name 04 this time around is skins and cosmetics. So that then allows me to come down to the bottom here, grab all of these skins, although a lot of these I will just donate to Corporation anyway because they're ships I won't use. So we pop those in there, along with all of these different clothing items that I have available for my characters. And again, things like the female ones I may sell on. Now at this point I realise I do have a load of leftover stuff here. Now admittedly the drones I would pop into the ammunition and charges because they're things I consider spent. The mobile unit would go into modules and fittings. I can't place it in there. Okay, fine, it's going to stay there as it is. And then these bits are kind of just going to sit here on the front page. I should have another station container for blueprints, although these are actually going to go across to my industrial alt because I don't build anything on this particular character. So to get those out, what I would do here is now right-click those. I'm going to create a contract private to my alt, capped Benzie. There we are, my industrial alt. It's going to ask me just to double-check that. And then boom. Those are going to be out of my cargo hold as well. Off they go. Click down, click back up, and oh, look at that, how much better that is. Metal scraps and stuff like this I don't need at all. I could probably actually just literally get rid of these, trash those. Heck, I could reprocess them, but my skills are awful as well. And now if we go out and back in, oh, would you look at that, it's even better. Do I need the water? No, I could probably get rid of that. The fried interface, damaged artificial, I'm going to sell those off to some other people as well. And now everything is nice and neatly organized. How nice is that? What a beautiful little system there, just for keeping everything together. And for about 60,000 ISK per container, that's not bad. Just remember, obviously, hauling those containers is fairly difficult. Anyway, folks, if you found this useful, if you chuckled once at all, you owe me a like on it. Otherwise, subscribe for more content like this. And if you do want to help support the channel, again, liking and subscribing is the easiest and cheapest way to do so, but I do have a PayPal, a Patreon account, and a Redbubble merchandise store that you can get some cool swag at as well and help support the channel. Anyway, folks, let me know how you get on with these. I'd love to know how you guys organize, what system you use. I definitely need to add a 5th box here, I think, but we'll see. Let me know how you do this. I'd love to hear it in the comment section down below. Otherwise, thank you for watching right the way through to the end on this one. Happy sailing and see you in New Eden.